Hi guys, welcome to this Microsoft Excel session. What I want to look at in this module is how to use the frequency function. So I've got three examples set up and I'll quickly go through it for you. So the first one is this. You have some test results here in column A, and then you have the possible scores that you can get. So there's only three numbers that can be returned. So you've got a 1, a 2 and a 3. So there can only be a 1, a 2 and a 3 in this list. What you want the frequency function to tell you is how many number 1s there were in this list, how many number 2s and how many number 3s. Now the frequency function is what's called an array function, and you have to do it slightly different to the normal functions. So it's like this. I'm going to highlight that yellow area, which is something you don't normally do, and then I'm going to type equals frequency, open my bracket. It's asking me for two things: data array. The data array is this test results, and a comma, and then the bins array. So the best way I can explain bins array, if you think of three waste paper bins and you're gonna throw paper in there, so screwed up paper for how many number 1s there are. So every number 1 you're going to put in the bin that's called number 1, every number 2 you're going to put in the bin called number 2, and every number 3 you're going to put in a bin called number 3. So that's why they're called bins. So highlight that, and this is where it changes. So normally you would just tick that formula or press enter, but with an array formula it doesn't work. You need to, as it says over here, have these squiggly brackets on, and you can't type those. It doesn't work if you type them. You have to do this, Control Shift and Enter. So that's what I'm going to do, Control Shift and Enter, and then it drops them in and puts those brackets on for you on the formula bar. So once you've done this, once you've run this, if you change this data on the left, the test results, it just will recalculate whatever you put in. So you don't have to keep redoing this. So this could be a finished report that you've got. So it's giving you the scores on the doors for some analysis that you might be doing. So that's the basic ones. I'll do another one. So this case, you've got courses, and you've got the number of students that are attending these courses. So you've got a maximum of 6 students per class. So you want to know what the course loading is for these. So is it worth your while doing more of one type, or maybe you need to do a bit more marketing? So the same thing applies. You highlight the yellow bit. In this case, you type equals frequency, open your start bracket, select your range, which is the student numbers, do a comma, and then the options that there can be is 1 to 6, and then you do the Control Shift and Enter, and it drops them in. So according to this, you've had no 1-to-1s and you've had no classes of 6. But like I said before, if you change this, it then just recalculates and gives you the scores on the doors. And then you can see it changing over there. Now the final example is student scores, and then you've got a set of ranges. So I've already run this one. This one's basically telling me that there are 3 students that got less than 60. 45, 34, 56. No students got between 60 and 70. 4 students got between 70 and 80. 3, and so on and so on. That's how that works. But if I just redo this one for you, so I'll highlight the area again. I'll type equals frequency, open the bracket. So the scores on the doors are my data, and then these are the bins, these are the options. Do Control Shift and Enter, it drops in the figures which I've already got there. Now what I've done on the right there is I've created a data validation list, so I can select an option and then it will give me the score on the right there for that particular range. So if I just delete these out of the way for a minute, and I'll just break this down. So data validation is just the list that I've selected, so I'll show you how I did that. Data tab, data validation, selected the list, which was that, and then just clicked OK. So you select the list option from here, click OK. That gives me the options, and then what I've got in this side is an if statement that basically says if E2 equals 60, click on D2, if E2 equals 70, click on D3, D3, if E2 equals 80, D4, and so on and so on. So that's just a nested if. And at the end there, you can see I've had to close 5 brackets because there's 5 if functions in there all the way along. And that's how that works there. So then when you change this criterion E, this if statement just picks up the numbers. And then you can refer to that elsewhere. You might have a different formula looking at this score and bringing that into a report or something with concatenation maybe. Concatenation is an example I'll do later on. But that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that one. Frequency function, got lots of uses. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one.